microphone in the jail. Has John Mahama imprisoned anybody?
Not yet.
So people catch us a climate of intimidation or criminal intimidation in the bank.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yupo.
Yedi eni chirimu ewo NPP amayoku na kachina eye Ivan J Innocent na oche se NPP for epeni ya ewa se omoba na omobepa Ghana fo nyina achew na party bi eni ho atumi abebo omano form echen eye NPP for na abranye krompo aye arresting no former president eye Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo issue some statement bi krompo na oche se wokoka nsem bi na wanka ni na de wo ekogina emra na no a na wamlemu biana ena omoblemu eye Mahama ene NDC for no omunyai sa blame na omode bo eye Mahama anase NDC for no we yensema Ivan J Innocent ene Titi ede atudwa PENDREAM TV suni so you new to the channel subscribe send ye be ya the video be atuma be the first person na wonsa ebeka yankone nkoti ensema Titi ene Ivan J Innocent ede atudwa efa nema NPP for ebe ye abra na omo abanma ene abronya kwa make statement ya arrest na omo se NDC for etete mo fa ahudie so na se NDC for omo enyo mo fa ahudie no yankone nkoti the details Titi ene Ivan ede atudwa efa sa ensensemi ho.
Peace Council I issue statement na the omoka and say as a tension about kronim because NPP for say yetiatia wo mo fa ahodie so NPP for say ye cheche wo mo NPP for say ekwan a aban no ede wo nam so no mani enje ho enti Peace Council chere say was say calm should be restored because there's too much tension in the system. Peace Council.
Yeah, I mean, what here for na menka say. Na me catch us adibi agency wo krom ha say. Aye nkrofuko bi na omunni ade bi omodo mabrabo beye. Na nipa nti omonka. So they just want to omunni ade papa bi omodo mabrabo beye. Na ya wona watena oman mu for emfie nwotwe na watete oman na sere na abasa eka na ye di ja oman no ebo ekrono a se be yenhu bi da to the stand say edru ba bi na Ghana ho enya kono nchen no mbetena ye no eni ewo se ombetena se anu omo ho apologize to the people of this country no we say kroma is so easy to do NDC MPP equalization and obenya nipa mo di wachi. And that is why the kind of way Peace Council no mudi echira or more kind tension be na abakrom. Nothing has happened. And you know, abrabona omuni hwede omo abraboye. And omunye ready say ombe ko omunko to bianima pa Ghana fo acha for mamuo bone Akufo-Addo bebo e wo kroma say no. These are tactics these people have just employed just to sway the conversation away from dirty things they did. The accountability as a government, a hold you more accountable. Because for the past 1 week in here, look at the topic we are discussing. And yet, a certain climate of intimidation has been activated under John Mahama. The question is, it's a climate of intimidation will come and can say, Muna. Yes, I have Brante Mustafa Sahwan, cancer, or never Ghana, I ungovernable, and free speech, I criminalize or her, and that guy should be in jail. Because statements all kind are treasonable. This is a whole republic, and he's threatening, say they will make this country ungovernable. And it's not the first time we make it this particular way.
Yeah, 2010.
So this is an unholy strategy. These people have just employed, because when it comes to policy options, there is nothing sensible to communicate. When it comes to track record, it's so dirty, there is nothing. I'll bet me aka. Enti omo ka se NDC anasa John Mahama tieto omo fa ahudie so a, then you drive the conversation from policy line to some kind of sympathy arena. So all that the MPP is doing today is fiction, or your friend is saying on something fiction for that emotional support from the people of this country. But they've forgotten what they did and how things play. Nema no mo kasa ya che hwan ne hwan nipa dodo se no mo ache omo a enu nti betimi akasa climate of intimidation ensem na nipa no ka no the last time betena catch us some of the issues no bi o ha enye necessary say police for akwachi nipa no bi no intimidation e cause okroma saying yete hayi Ghana for bu ofusa amanfo tena krom ha de oman sika bon no krom ha people expect them sankofo nyina da jail. Has John Mahama imprisoned anybody?
Not yet.
So people catch us a climate of intimidation or chroma intimidation in the bank. And some nipa no kano. The last time betena catch us some of the issues no be and yet necessary say police for kwachi nipa no be no because kwachi nipa no nim nyansa but with the state resources na kwachi no highlight no amana be hero.
Yeah.
Because for them yachiwa the flag bearer who is a shadow sponsor of this nonsense will come to your house and we be commiserating with you because you Abra will be threatening the sitting president. You know, he went to the gentleman's house, and today people are motivated to be saying these things. I'll be the last person to say yes, because democracy, my culture say the differences in our opinion, no, and a lie, the quality of way bit media actually or minor. But that does not also give you the license to go about throwing your way around, making threatening comments. And but when those things, you know, hinge on emra ewo kroma say, ko yetisim now be a the opa, and as of mine there will be no state authority. So a certain extent, you know, the state will move in to regulate certain things. What I say, empty. You let us not sit here and see, say, your friend saying the state has been turned into a police state, and there is an indiscriminate arrest in as a form. I say it's just a mere as these people have just decided to exaggerate the situation, blow it out of proportion, just to sway the conversation I have on. So over here in the last 2 weeks in the year, nobody's talking about anything. We are talking about this, and my culture say NPP as a political party, no, I think that they do have a problem. Because we have Afenyo marking since he became the minority leader in parliament, you know. You could see, say, this gentleman hasn't been able to lead any sensible initiative. Emma political party na viable, say, opposition, it has been nothing but arrogance and that kind of belligerence. Kind of politics, but that politics will belong to the 12th century. And because as a leader there, you should be able to woo people with fine speech. You don't go about threatening people. And again, no cross sign will form to the sense that what's your position? What lose power but power no one sanka yet. Then you are telling people say you're back 2028 you bet a choice again and kasa form. You're wronger. What do you intend to repeat it in the next 8 years? So is it going to be a cycle? Now if it is a cycle, then you have no reason to complain today. Because you have your pound of flesh in the next 8 years, in the next 4 years, according to you. So you see, and we a young person out in China, you see some of these people talking stage it's so frustrating, and sometimes you understand why politics are sinking so low in this particular country, because these are the inferior minds that are leading political parties. The events are driving conversation and making a case. Our media, everybody will follow. It's very shameful. And this same afenyo marking in an your saying Sam George call ne interview. Your friend say I'll call share committee now omu bisa no as a ministerial vetting committee no. He was very particular about Sam George in Sema waka about the judiciary. And then onu betimi catch obi say judge be a cromfo. Somebody who could get the Supreme Court and panel on Friday within 6 hours, am I ruling in his favor? Such a character today has the infantry to be going about chastising Obi. Nasabi, the Omodeya Bronyen and Asafon, and Yakra, you should not be the person to be talking about it if you have a sense of shame. This is what I'm saying, that these are jump over Ghanaians. Among riding so foolishly on a cheap boat to the source of their own distraction. They don't even know what they are doing, because these are people who have benefited from an era of judicial tyranny and kasa judicial perjury. Why a beneficiary? Yet everybody was concerned about the climate of your friends saying judicial incompetence and now cause to the sense every judiciary at that time may not criticize it. We were expecting them to join us so that we can equally condemn if something goes wrong. Now, Joker, you were benefiting from that particular thing, and today now you think things are not going in your favor. No, you want the general public to come to your favor. It means that you are not a serious mind. You understand? So for me, I think that you continue to see these guys as jokers. Now we are Ghanaians, you should be worried because these are people, these are the inferior minds leading the political conversation in this particular country. And unfortunately, you know, but we don't sit down to ask the critical. It was unnecessary. You know, you don't arrest a big because I can't say doom. So when indeed light you doom cover, you may disagree, you may agree with him. That is because you allow people. But there are other instances. For instance, I brought you the Yawa catch judge, said judge, a bride. But judge NDC, ni judge, yes, you know, you are one person, I was single out. And I would attempt na wouldn't know hinge on the sacred authority. I am a judge, you know, and then authority not the man ruling.
Yeah.
It is the judicial authority. Man to prosecute a man for. So you are impugning that particular authority. No, it is not the judge. Rather, it is the authority of the state.
Yeah.
Me security. I won't say anything, but it's not everybody who allows some of these things to go. You understand? So it is not as if nothing has happened. And Sanka, these people, if they are smart and very intelligent, the first thing they should have done was to condemn those reckless, irresponsible, foolish comments from their people. But Panimfona are rather making extremely foolish comments. Because afenyo marking someone na okay, abronya crowd and this person calls himself a leader of a political party. You ask yourself, so what is the future of this particular political party? If the leader can be talking foolishly more than Nipana or say then it tells you that the political party has a problem. Because one lose political power now but in China. Yeah, Makacho said the first thing you do is to connect with the people. Sabaya sympathy game where or more people will easily, because unless you build a bridge, you cannot connect to the people. As it stands now, who can't Ghana for Sebi, who from Ghana for they are pretending that everything is okay, and this year, but yes, you ain't but Ghana for you fear near my cost of catch us and Kufu, I don't know. What in some an interview now or can. So open nipo mo di nipa bonia na no Kevin Taylor ne Kufuor back and forth here cause I chanced on a video where President Kufuor catchere amamfo say or deny Rollins because na adan we emperor I will be Rollins catchere Rollins so disappointed. Rollins catchere say we are incompetent our abontinti. That was the reason why you deny him. That was very childish. Very, very, very childish. You don't make such comments. Because politics now, you're better being criticized.
And at that time, he saw nothing wrong with it.
No. Until boy, I branted now an interview, but I really bizarre. Say, until we have chance, I'll say there be. Now, Quabantina could do my time back and now talk or mine and him fear could go. Now, like I say, state to the media, no, a former vice president, he was entitled to those things, but he was denied because Rollins are China again. Jokers today, you have the M3 to come around telling people, say, free speech. Free speech, they are criminalized here. It started from this era. Akufuado, then NC Okroma saying. Memakajo said, what is wrong yesterday, and you're wrong today. But those of us who criticized yesterday, you know, have equally the moral power to criticize it today. But you, the beneficiary who saw nothing wrong with it, today you are not condemning. You turn around and say, and you're condemning as a politician. You see, you can entice your own foot soldiers. As do not thrive on emotions, but no single nyansa when you are activating this conversation. Because in politics, Makati is a comparative analysis, something you cannot throw away. So people will begin to ask you, say, more person than I and Chinipa, near kidnap a man for. The last time I ran to making Mammy or your airport to ya kidnap or move a Kufuor pencil because I ran to social media could try dear for President the Kufuor or Twitter. Ya kidnap no. Nipa Ameswale Yankuno Kroma say. Ameswale was killed. These jokers, Afenyo Markin, where was he? Did he ever condemn people from his own political party and threatening the catcher among for so Uhuna Boro, Yakuno? Where was Afenyo Markin? And today these jokers are going around telling people what? And I'm a catcher say, you see, some of these things, you know, you can convince inferior minds and emotional minds. They will buy this particular package of nonsense they are selling, but no sensible person will fall for this. Abrante yo kasa boom 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 as ya wona pane on adwem ya say friend na abuse hwan Titi so threatening say or no and I make say security e okroma na kasa nye serious. Can these people making these reckless comments here should be behind bars? Me say these are not men, no. These are cowards. Spineless coward. They sit on TV, make unnecessary noise. What see that they so yare? Abronya T radio son no yes so yare. These are cowards. They can't even face their own consequences. Obi abet na papaya your friends NPP former chairman yomo iso kubu obi dan yangui. Ya che na de che ya so yare.
Na yare mai den.
These are
na ne be la na ne ho to no.
Kofi Jima ya che na de che so yare. These are cowards who cannot even face their own shadows. And these people are going around throwing their weight around. Where were they when these things were happening? Me ameti hey, I condemn these things under Akufo-Addo, and today if things are going wrong, I can condemn. But the point is that you saw nothing wrong, and politics, integrity, consistency is very key. That was why the last time I was on Dr. Baumia, you saw nothing wrong with the nonsense happening under you when you were the deputy president of this country. Journalist Ebjani Free Kroma. Journalist, we are now said the party just capture plane take it man and a job, and when you yebekuno. And today these jokers are around saying what? Abronya wana atrateno. Baba Amando wana atrateno. A man for life were on the line. Anas Akufo-Addo general debate as a catch and say, oh, I shall adopt the Anas principle. Anas was rendered useless under Akufo-Addo because Ochino. Anas was bastardized. He was humiliated. He was insulted. His personality Nankasa was indicted. He was subjected to unholy criticism, accusations, and whole lot of. Yes, that kobo kwabrane pa Kennedy Japan. Ya kobo ne pa say on destroy Anas because waka corruption asem. These jokers have their own country to go around saying what. And I make us a media Nankasa nye serious. Ukroma say, and they will give oxygen or publicity to some of the. John Mahama will be the last person you can accuse him. Or Tiaman for like or keteli free speech.
Free speech.
Does it look like somebody who keteli free speech? Open pa year abusing Okroma in the history of this country. Go back to 2016. There no man find Okroma saying. What I say. Akufo-Addo na betre Ghana for say because social media na kwachira na dwan itimeche no. Electronic Transaction Act na mo kana be na free buy. I don't say for them. Emra no enti media ne say ye kasa ye ya nyina ye hu say we are on the same page. They are wrong and no wrong and when people were complaining about the judiciary, Oliver quiet demonstration. Yet she not in the courtroom deny or mobile. Your friends are rough, then you find your rough. Why wouldn't your friends say Captain Smart and answer for then one find your more chroma saying. And then that climate of intimidation. Did any of these jokers ever issue or condemn any of these things? And like I said, Mr. Media nankasa ye jokers because a media ni serious. You give them this catalog. Captain Smart radio so TV so you know ni ababa channel. Kwa bana bobi ansa anajo or ye ni program omokofa no ye hwe kra ye hu ye bo ama bende wo se hwan ye oye jelino. I remember there was a time when a chairman called Central Police Station. Your friend said they were at Abracano. Now them. You're jelino. So it was wrong that day. If Obuko tried your Facebook said Doomso has returned your children, it is wrong today. But the question is who can criticize? Can you?
Exactly.
You can't because you have lost that moral audacity to be going out. But these are shameless bunch of individuals who have no sense of shame. And they think it's that was what I'm saying, a strategy. When abanti yamfa kwade nam krom but you see some ya santininti me osono me yanwonaninti me achinia kind of enkurase politics na atwamo. You still find some people who belong to that school, but majority of young people coming up no sa school no omo who say enkurase school to moto ogu. They are following policies and options. So if your political strategy is designed for emotional supporters now, you will fail, because today people want us to activate reasonable conversation.
Sure.
Track record consistency is very key. Now, waba, you say he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. You understand? You are able to make a case. I'm a pencil when they see it, we condemn this. They and you know we young channel, and the nejo mahama ba na or yes aniyama we bia, and we condemn. So when there will be a young person not in China politics, I didn't know this double standard, this hypocrisy, this is what they are learning. It's very shameful. And Christian councils, so I know what yes, we did know. Also, Sama na ye kuwa nase na nase for na tension ni kroma. Ameswale ejina Madina and ye bond to oku no na tension ma kroma. Abra na Manase. Yeah, a man for air fan in the general free criminal attention, my journalists no move. You see, I don't make a say. You see, we have gotten to a point people we used to respect in the past thinking, so these are reasonable men of conviction, you know. We need to be baby and I was got me answer na me babon tin be kan asem no. Me check machi who say my back is against the wall.
Yeah.
There is no window. Window means that obi anya adibi mfa me kwa me say we na ye.
Yeah.
Na ya ujina achire ujina wachi. There is an open space.
Yeah.
Na who can obi there. Nobody will take you serious.
Yeah.
And I make us a damn message now strategy no more and is targeted about this targeted the same easy minds I'm follow mono who will not subject and the politics na home. But say NDC core supporters can never win NDC power.
Yeah.
The same way MPP core supporters
That one there, I think they should know by now.
And we a serious political party here. Your strategy, your design, everything should target the middle people.
Yeah.
But and some who tete grass politics way when you the UOB and I will make the Ghana Mustafa we so almost make Ghana such a coward. It's because I'll be making Ghana ungovernable. Wait. Now security I'm so disappointed in them because these are jokers you should be picking. Because he is threatening the republic, say he will make, and this is not the first time they are saying this.
Yeah.
They will make the country ungovernable. These are inflammatory, dangerous, threatening statements that must not be coming from such character, and they must be arrested. And so we yes, what create climate of intimidation. And I actually book kakani said they command international communities, and they shall set it to your and I'm say omuti omoye na say John Mahama is a gentle person. Nanka ekwaye ye mu binuma. Togo. I'm telling you, Kebima du Togo. Because we need the pay yeah, not trust a bonny when it tima.
Yeah.
Now watch and say oh bonny ne new timo. And with them. Moja na mumuni na bonny. Enti or the bar or the abisiao.
Sure.
It's as simple as that. Because politics na a nice guy na no. Oko stadium.
Yeah.
Na say system P the cinema for Gani free. Stay your fence like May 9 the next year no. Ota forma obi en ho be pejao.
We have a fast.
Ombeteti asoku. But the very moment ubetimi apagya ho agya wuntumi nante kra de gina wachini be pian aboko wanim.
Yeah.
And I just say in the world nobody will show you mercy until you begin to show yourself mercy. What say yes media majaja me hono monya. Omuno that is their political strength. What their mamu be say no. Ombetena nchen they act as saboteurs, and that's what they do best. Now, Kwame Nkrumah Niabra all fighting for independence. Now, Kwabrane the pen in the paper, letter, Kwakoma, or him and Kwame Nkrumah. Today, the descendants of these jokers can gather momentum and celebrate Ghana's independence.
And they said their forefathers even fought for the democracy.
Jokers.
You know what Salama Mustafa said?
Jokers.
Or petition no come diplomats. And no cast ourselves.
Yes. Yes, and Quine Joa and Osibia Sabidi. When I was watching Kufuor's interview and all cancer assembly, now I'm saying you should even thank Rawlings. Because Rawlings could have decided not to hand over.
Yes.
Rawlings at the time could have decided, say, oh, hand go be now other people, so they didn't hand over. And I said he could have manipulated the election to win. But this gentleman saw the need, say, may transition your mind and the gains na ya make ya democracy and am for kwatena radio see nsemu ni nyina no is because of this Rollins. And Kufo will tell you say wakwa abontia koka say oye incompetent inti. How many times na ba umiana na yere? There was a time Samira called Mahama, she used the word useless.
Useless, incompetent.
Yes. Obi or no feel Obi say or you're incompetent.
Yeah.
Or you're useless. But who say President Mahama ever had a case with her?
No.
But President Kufuor Rollins akwa abontanko kasa or you're incompetent in tea. The characters are constitutionally or yeah or deserve no or deny no, and he has no regret about that. He's okay. And today you have the audacity going around telling people say climate of intimidation. Do you understand the word intimidation? So yeah, tell that music no bass na MPP bass na kohwe and instead of some befa e dey call mechanic shop na ya fix car no who fear tacha na no o ma dwen say customers ni nim nyansa nti obetim the same car no aba be fa amanfo, and that's exactly what they are doing. Nothing new has come. Ideas near the same old wretched 12th century your friends are inspired you have a primitive thinking na omodenam yantiantiam tete playbook na emotions yankasa. Now look at people leading the party today. This is a party now you're branding as intellectuals and anyansafo ni nyina ya pamo mu nyina kosi nchan and the station boys are taking over. And kasa station boys kasa boom 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 omo kasa what in China we machine bi say the MPP na nu nie because panimfo no betena se adwena ma party ni nyina no ya pamo mu nyina kwakosi nchan. And can never want to be between a kukodra because a party like MPP or no want to be a national so the state your party now
candidates
exactly
because the last time I went to me a corner was incoming.
Yes. So everybody want damn people around them to be able to control. And I catch say intelligent a mind that is not intelligent can never attract intelligent minds. A mind any intelligent can never attract intelligent mind. Over in China, they will feel threatened.
Yeah.
So your fans say inferior minds will always center around them low your fans say inferior minds so that so that they don't feel threatened, you feel comfortable, you play your game. And that is the game the MPP is playing today. So yeah, near my deserve say condemn never condemn it.
Sure.
But I am not sure say anybody on his right senses can wake up today and say Mahama has activated a climate of intimidation. When you can speak to some of these issues. Yeah, Abronya court na judge kase. Your friend is saying, on concord them copim so medina sema we are. These are issues we cannot disagree.
Na say no crowd there, afenyo ma ke maybe or parliament. Or sit court no ya chiro momo ya lawyers.
Exactly.
Ya chiro ma there say court you agree and side with what the court has said. If you think that you don't agree,
you file,
go to court.
Exactly, there are processes. Made that particular ruling, I disagree. Because who do be a someone to win cancer on Kodama simple. You file, you challenge it. My culture say, sa contempt of court, my judge ya tabu go there see you suba asasi we no be din sem huna nipa kana dwen no how much more a judge what I say who din sem huna nipa be kana dwen kire wo that boy okwan ya faso ayeye you don't go about throwing your weight around in asafo no but in the time na ye mu binum cry kasa atia this contempt of way no where were they? They were happy because I benefited you. And today you cannot speak against it. What I say? Yeah, politics, 2 kilobytes for no doors on the door. I'm a grown man walking with baby's brain. I'm not doors on the door.
How much the system now?
Oh, these are grown men in fancy suits operating on children's brain and crank and all your politics. What's in China? Now, wakoma because we sounds of mine and Dutch and the same. And unfortunately, the young people coming. This is the politics they are learning.
They are learning.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that video.
I mean,
they tag Ghana Police Service on so many. You know, because I'm saying, where be say me?
You should not. You should not go and arrest these people.
No, these people they don't need the attention.
Me say I dare shit me what my life. You know me who say abronya. Say what Black Maria man a camera dinechi. And Kenya, you are using state resources to hype fools. I didn't know the graphic anymore. As if say, so the security should also be. There are ways you can handle some of these things. You understand? Now you're the Cabrani, I didn't see Black Maria. Now I want for dinner.
Camera.
Oh, how can you do that? You cannot use state machinery to be promoting idiots. State machinery, I'm fine the papa. I think we must be advised. Now your security so. There are a lot of things that are wrong, especially with the police, the way they operate in as a forum. I think the IGP will have to also find a way to deal with some of their situation. Quite the na massa say come near say who come near Kucharo be around about near Cho. You don't even go and arrest Obi Abra to be identified.
Yeah.
You don't go and arrest Obi. Now you're not quite you know what kind of grassism. Typical grassism. You cannot arrest Obi. Now you Nebusian for us Obi and Neko. Now more than none.
I think we've passed there.
Yes. So the security agencies must learn. You cannot go and arrest Obi Abra to be identified or grassism. Na say what if the person is not a police?
Yeah.
Such a strategy no more want to kidnap us abrantia no. Bongo ideas be seen there or obi anim the kokoche no. We cannot do that. The security agencies must sit upright. And America say recruitment and as for they need to do things well because a massa say come.
Yeah.
Now obana the dripper so once a massa say come na there ya. Drip is so called no discretion. No discretion. Say, oh, me call and so Massa say come you for come.
Okay, mommy. Francis, Ajigiwa, Mr. Francis Udino. I say, I was a mijai, no bonami Francis, no epe. I'll say it is agenda within the follower contestant in the NDC and Baumia. Cape because so is popular than I think now responded to Polado Mochi Adiano Rano. Pedro was it live from Kumasi Town or so and LCO Kran was a well done Ivan Shawal Nuhu Ali was a well done Ivan and Michael Akoshu was a yeah good morning Ahinkai within a court and not heading KOT Ahinkai okay also wose o hweye papa wo comments no do so ama me hu emu dia menkan emfa emma enti menkan last one now the buy no see NPP shameful party now and Bala boys. All right. Okay. Innocent yanko we so ne clear no free we are public accounts committee issues IPP mu aba na enra Dr. Bawomi anso ehia minority na o say the omo last line of defense for Ghanaians. Na say niema ekoso okroma nyina no minority MPs no NPP MPs no omo ye enkofo mu twato a was some defending Ghana for.
Yeah, and American politics, you know, it's a fine art. You need to understand how it is done.
Yeah,
and all Kasa, that is also a key part of it. Yes, minority can be. Also, we are there.
Last line of defense.
Yeah, now Ubisa Parliament no more no crown and faso almost there. The minority in Parliament today and faso almost so. Cause Abrabo born in Kushibra. The fence about Miane Akufo do mind boy even 2/3 of Parliament kwano. Yeah, your fence NDC today were commanding the fence numbers of Parliament. There is no decision they cannot take because mukra 2/3.
Yeah.
Making the your fence minority no a useless entity in Parliament. Any bill be able to be even in their absence, they can form a quorum and make a decision. And then that's why we started first. I told you, sir, once they don't have the number, I cannot activate any intellectual discourse or influence anything in Parliament. You know, they are going to adopt aggression. They are going to adopt this kind of intimidatory, noise-making kind of strategy. Because in Parliament, they cannot affect or influence anything going on. Because the NDC, if they decide to do anything, they have the numbers to do. And that's exactly what is happening. MPP be a minority in parliament, you know. They have rather defamed the fortunes of the party even more than say you promote to the party. Mention a single thing cause for parliament led by any of the guys because enuntino omo project party to intellectual minds. Makata say they no check na they for their own followers.
Yeah.
But you need to target the middle intelligent people, and these minds cannot attract them. They are afenyo market na ma oye. So no need respect for a judge. Na judge na nsuamra na sabi. Oh siamra. We need to get serious in this country. You understand? Challenging the intellectual credibility of Obi as a judge, you know.
Yeah.
What is your intellectual credibility as a member of parliament? Because no judge no so trans a fans judge na bon.
Yeah.
Or no so trans no hu a parliament na mo no just mo de ma bon ko. Konfaso bi anim ebilum so no mo tete ho. Apart from hunu ne press conference huna sabinyansa bi anim. Do you think you are better than judge na so wabon no? In your parliamentary duties? Attempted the answer when a judge can do better.
Yeah.
What I say?
Yeah.
So I think that they need to regroup. No maintenance design. Me say they need to hire a consultancy firm. Oh yes, no she near my mom. Because again still no. I'm free say yeah efficacious politics ni bi na yeah. But efficacious politics ni ya atwam woni efficacious politics. Okokuma say abrosan ntenten na yeah the other front no ewo afie ni yam no. Asoro for na nti wuda so no agina so aka say obi ate. So obi osoro to convince obi na omu nyina koto aba. And na sa politics na atwam. Sa efficacious politics no atwam. You must be able to lead a discourse reasonable, a discourse convincing, a discourse tonipa akoma so. And many people will say, oh, but we are never policy or de bani when or deba. Na kwaya cheka deda. Mahama is focused delivering on his mandate.
Yeah.
The last time ever tonight, Kumasi Accra Express Road is under construction. And Ghana ha mention a single road that your friends I didn't see so more yet. In the past, Akwayo Kasa ho. Yes, friend, your friends road minister back on friends. Kasa ho. So you're crying. Crying do say no ye okroma saying. Do saying, but today turn around and see the construction going on. Yeah, budget near the court near who sika who be if I see there is no road. Kwabrane koye track at the back room say yes school down and I say over follow back na plot na assassin na agenda ho. And today these same people who have been changed executives of the same government, that was terrifying, that was very reckless, that is dangerous. Today turning around about apostles of what? Democracy. Did they understand democracy at the time when people were being threatened, when Ghanaians were being chased? Now, but we are not to China and also not to Cambodia. And he didn't see. Or no one kasa na yere. To me fear be a unya. According to Papa na Odi Kennedy Japan Chino, on find Oti Boati of Samai. Okobuni dying to be according to the man. Me fear be a one year baby no who the kobu be dying to go here. Nipa that's a near wunyansa who say so even if we disagree sikana papa idea see a dime marko almost 10 80. Let us even come into a consensus. Kwabranenya to me for so that folk obu obi dying to go here. And today you are running around saying what? And I make us a mono ba umia de under was somebody pole. Because on one kasa aton and watch Ghana for how incompetent he is and he has ever been. And then the shadows of Akufo-Addo's terrible, bad, corrupt, oriented government, will continue to haunt him forever. And when anybody if Mahama stay focused, he's able to build a minor said today look at the economic template. May say you may not like him as a person, you may not like him as a president, you may not like his government, but the reality is that the template looks good. And
policy rates cry
now say rating agencies no rating and rating abayano NDC headquarters no adwuma. The policy your friends say the rating agencies they are operating from NDC headquarters. They are rating Ghana based on the economic figures. And the church say something significant is happening, which is a sharp departure from the Neman and I no. A man for court demonstration, the Oliver at them for how long? Okonia denying the bay, Okonia denying the bay. Emma, I'm ranting some by your demonstration. Emma demonstration, you have been to two a bit of and today these people, and I make us say, the more emotional side of the media who hype this nonsense for them. But for the intellectuals who make reasonable, conscious political choices going into 2028, we'll see the NPP as a political party that has not shifted course, that has not deviated from it. Your friend is saying destructive tendencies. The NPP has always been a destructive tool whenever in power and in opposition. They don't build. Because you see, very often a man for make it so easy and this in NPP a painting. A lot of the conversation you're too good. But what's an say? Now we hear objective, deep analysis. You come to the realization there are areas you can say and this in NPP a pet. But when it comes to development, a man for that's a vast difference. There is a vast difference between the NDC and the NPP when it comes to development. They build private businesses, take money, build their own life, and they go away. There are people working in this government almost way near, even salary requirement. There are a lot of people working almost 1 year near salary requirement, but they are still working. Because I just say the agenda is to build the nation. It is not just to steal. Yes, you will find people, but say abandoned angels in Kwanigu. So definitely you find exactly. But on average, the NDC is more committed to the developmental cause of this country more than the other side of it. Your Mahama Baye, the idea of also or build the express road from Kumasi to Accra. Nanka Pebebia build this road, Nanka Kumasi and Koba build but that is the major road. He's doing it. The universities across. Look at Legon Hospital. Kwabrane, adwini ni kwabrane timintino. Otimiya budget say obesi 111. Me who big da. Adwia emu etia say me who big da. Na America buying kura betimiya da so say me see 100 hospitals. At a go. Na sabi anya nkura adwene ne wo tima ubetimi ada sori say me see 100 hospitals what bi wo hefa hospital ba kokura ni obetimi wiye ne ye ja na wo ho and there is a difference you see. I just hope that the president will be successful because my country said the last leg Ghana democracy general so this John Mahama administration a failure. Ghana will slip to perdition and we might not return. Abrante no kwaji Burkina Faso no what in semuna na nsen okeka o say democracy they should forget which means or no personal discussion wa for mind do mum do pe no de be you can't complain
and na it say who ni say or develop kru no
exactly
so you have no say
and wafa. But in a country, it's not supposed to be like that. You cannot rule a country at the behest of what you think. It should be a broader consensus-based kind of way. But today he's telling people, forget about democracy. So then he's going to make the decision for you, whether good or bad. You live and hide. Fortunately, we have an open system. We should cherish it. So that is why I'm saying that your last leg near say you hear near Silipia and one no countries no more who nation there will be a peku and then there are sponsors who when you what I say. So I think that we need to navigate and ignore this destructive element because amono I did be a Friday testimonials oko school oko bobra papa and on the bound. But we are not NPP testimonials in the testimonial 2024 elections. I think that they should just shut up, begin to rewrite their own narrative, present themselves as a viable option. Maybe reasonable people in Ghana will get convinced and will see to them. But say we no mokoya there. Because this is not politics. No. This is not politics.
All right, so I think the next 20 minutes to yes, so we can do justice to this story. We are here me pa. Public Accounts Committee are sitting on Martin Fiti. I think last week na nambum a free jua day by day. niema epiepie wo mu no eye niema ya bobo so happen but as a details na yet to public accounts committee no it's mind blowing fiti Monday no Tuesday no kwa de na me nua be ma Bernard Monek ka se asema me ke woni me ya adwen say adent na yensesa ye mra no na auditor general reporter ye bobu anas ye review of public accounts committee no nipa na office abre no no amu me answer. Because you could clearly see some of the issues and niema sika na afifa nkrofo esase no omo answer for it no they were not involved until you be left alone with what you read, what they gave to you. Now they are quite quick because yet me tue sika na afi ye say wo trezia any source. Honorable Abno Sasare then and Yabri, she was the deputy minister. So transactions na course ni nyina ne all scrutinize or park hono. Yes, because document a crown national. So 35.8 million dollars was a Ghana city so mutria de ma police for. Is it African Games? Yeah. For security. Yes, who really police for the because can 1 million on Masaka yo. And then Tibueno, Naka the Papa Madame Paria Babe Yano, because at that time he was in charge. Now Quabechem so be a Sicadian A, B, C, D. This is our supporting documents. But this is the case, Nippano no, as some new course one hono, on Yano. But let's go to the corruption aspect of the whole thing. Sika yetu tuadia mankrofo eno abako kwa de say headmistress na Ivan was say sika nipa ne fa wo school no o chesi na me ko wi achokoton ni nantwie eno de betu aka na say yes want to say aye deliberate ankrofo aye say ye wi o man no and when we get away with it that's it
yeah na say yeah wanwa you see obia draw inspiration because a certain climate was activated where a certain president decided se obelodu na ban no with na busuafo na wofase na yere dada nom ne nuanom ne nasefo anomo baaye no anya abrabo papa no mbeboye edan kro no yemfa oman ne nkosikam yanjeje oman ajapade yemfa ma private we ne yemfa kwan sumase nkonkoje oman agudie yemfa nyansa kwan ase yankasa yemfa me campaign among ourselves na yankokase efrabonte na ye ba beje na yemfa so na ye ni omanu birim enti sa na oman no esoro no te a omo wo form no will attempt to replay the same playbook so omo hwe de ekoso na omo so ombebo kro no bi because when certain begin to happen ade ba ko a emu ego accountability. Nobody holds anybody accountable in a society where crimes are not punished. But yeah, an incentive the nature crimes. So everybody will feel emboldened. Say, what is the worst that can happen to me? When who say there is nothing there, you'll be emboldened to do these things. So I think say the order of the day, and motivated some of these things to happen. And the corona, how the levels are so high. The president, I can say, the All African Games in the because the amount of money, I don't know why other son nam sa former yabana sikaboto sign or the co Egyptia. Ye kokoball a kahunu about chrome ha ye de ensa pan na buyer besin there obia na nam ho ne de All African Games beto so sika ye se ye stadium renovation na se fornom de ye de no aduane nipa ye de aduane contract mo so man na ye team no ye create situation ba ye de ye ho ye obia ni ho odwene hia ni bi ho ana odwene moborofo bi ho kwabrani area de akoto cars akese abane nam krom ha na wuhu na wahu say the levels don't change. That is your politics no ni nyina no levels don't change or the baba chiro say the wakona nimo say your level no be that is the whole essence. So public accounts committee, I've told you I have never been a fan of that thing because akwa say sub comedy bi na ye chira Ghana for but comedy na omu yi no wo hwa won sere e comedy a wo hwa obunefu. That is the difference. The difference between the public accounts committee comedy and say outcome no yansere ubunefu. That is the difference. Because there be ya koni ya koke kansemi ya na die se kura the money ya tan bufo na ya ba ya bi dikiki bi ahye nani a ote ho a arrogant kasa te sesabi Kwame Nkrumah ofase ye.
Wona dwen Ghana ho.
Ma mena oti ho de kiki ahye de ni a oye no ho say Kwame Nkrumah na asoma ne say omra meje Ghana. This woman was the deputy to Kenoforiata, who today is a criminal fugitive. I was going to free in my mu. And my man is saying, I'm from Fancy Camera. Na Niniana, yes, you were born, my sika, ye penachin, and I was going to quite an Americano. When you're general to for some back. Until me better public accounts committee now be some personal. My culture say you have no moral credibility to question anybody about this because the financial mess in the history of this country, it was engineered by you and your kind of oriata. You have no moral audacity, and as I don't committee in combat me. Oh yes, because a miracle as a year here, man for him cannot catch on. But today, you so committee to whitewash herself, questioning people. Why did you do this? And we do this. Not a bit of emotions I can hold. No, yes, I've been a Ghana home. Barbara na ye bon kwasi abosia de ye kenke party. Abra na ye mubinum TV so catchira manfo say within 4 years you cannot go to the commercial market and raise $11.2 billion. When you bisa say sika no here, there is nothing. At the time of COVID, about Kroma na manfo ho chiro mo ye kwa adakulo minim dan ye wa adakula ye betimi akohan ne bo bedru 20 million Ghana cedis na ya kase ye the 15 million Ghana cedis ye da ye siesie ho na ye wi akase oh de ade be ye na kra ye nyamfa nyenti ye jai ye koto working space of about 32 million Ghana cedis when there are free platforms you can even use to operate. Ya makwabrane bia asika se onko noa aduana akokọ ti ene ya fansa emo a ya noa na ya so eka buburu ya na dia guso. These people didn't have the moral conscience at the time to realize that something was wrong. And then no who your positioner as we are part of we be committee. So a playbook and a play nothing has changed. And I will never waste my time to watch that thing. Because it's a bogus enterprise. Oh, it's a useless enterprise. Makata said it's a comedy. The only difference I want to say ubunefu. Because some no more cano to what end? They never can see. But president to say, your public your friends say I'll be making sure say free now sir auditor general reports never babon a certain it will be tied to prosecution. I think that must come quickly. Because anyasa ayetete hymn book na yeto Methodist hymn book ya fancy number 111 ya tiabre ya tia afibia no na yeto. We need to change the narrative. Na yenkase going forward it is not just public accounts committee say ye kwatena say kodoso doso amamfo public area no yes ye nchesi amamfo nje sika no how effective is the state muzzle to go after these people. Ma men na ni adan and otimi di obi achima na koton na ntwie koje ni sika. And what people don't see is Ghana ha ope akromfo tatwia mo na nkasa na omotete aban nwuma mu
technocracy
omonkwa adwuma o omonkwa adwuma opa you can do and say there be every month bia obenya nipa omokọ conference wa abrochire aban na tuaka omonkwa ya hwe agi per diem. Because nobody's regulating anybody. Nobody is checking anybody. And a man for there was a time I was told, say, was it last 2 years or so? VRA had a meeting and they were planning to take the meeting to Dubai to go and do meeting. Conference room wa crying in answer. Dubai never boy conference. Dubai. Yeah. At the time. Na bisa say sa na ti adodo say ne tu kwan kwaya sa na ma no enti aban kro no efe ne kro no ankasa de there was a security bi oye other school bia no hu sika no moditua no 250 Ghana cedis security no on the last mile to there din a obabo school no ho ban no 250 Ghana cedis na school no tam de ma no ba kro no akase kro no maame kro no papa Krono wafa school num na ye bon aban sika security ni dey say anya aban na ye na yakofa na besi oni etua na 250 nti me catch us o man no ya ka say oman bi wo badly na enra me call platform bi say na me ka kire o say leadership your problem is no leadership any problem oman boni bi en ho benya leaders papa da entimi nsi so any republic you go in leaders na obehu no a reflection of the mindset of the people you can never have a good people with bad leaders it will never happen nipa no saso na say no won bedi aso no nya China no mofri ba wo ana mofri mass na ba omo wo fase omo nananom obi nua ya ankasa ye ho na ebirumanya akwanya na omo didi oman so enti ya ankasa ba wo na wunyanya akwanya no wote kolebu na wo so ya doctor no obi ho akire na ohia moa in their weak state no obaka kire say onkoto instrument mara na waje over $10,000 from a helpless poor person a ohia surgery na waje ni sikadi sana no ohu sa we no exposure no mo ye no na ka bo obi edakam ye de na ba doctor ni na nurse ni mpie mehwe no kra se ni sitie no obetia ka ja say ye ni bed ha momfa no nko na corruption be na chance ade we corruption is not just about say me say the moral fabric of this society no are sick. That is why there be a Sunday who amamfo na ye ko heavy who agufuwa to the sense that who dey wonye there has been a massive moral breakdown, moral decadence, and it's so apparent, you know. Such a country should not be talking about heaven. When the air to ho cry, no ye. I'm a catcher say, Yamena to our master Sion cock. On the bully come we are kete, then Yamen and Casacratia for the listener, Samasa.
Heaven it is a copy.
Yeah, Yamena Benuno. Otiwana nipa mi enu akokan bo makobu ni ko makunu na asamasa obenu no so de akoye boni we tim so baby ya find yourself no yeah we change na betimi amboa yen
sure
da bia me can say there is no redemptive alternative aside change that change must be very radical, that change must be very pragmatic, that change must be led by passionate people who are very deliberate and intentional about what they want to achieve. Anya sa na ye jai package na your mind si ho so obi anya de opa oh ya obi abedidi ho de ye in the end ye nko ba bia ye nkra wo mbe koso abra enkra ye be wo nkra ma omo aba akoye slaves e wa buruchire ye be wo nkra ma omo aba amo akọ Middle East akohoro amari ya bro san yes akora ba you atare dan ho twitwi obi abro san ho that akora no free a country that is rich but kwabrane afa ne sika dia top V8 kase dam koba to bia ma ne girlfriend onwe no ho esesa ne nabusianfo dom kotana ma no ne ne chefa of a mine japade no obi te so enti no ya dan ne by force ohiani esa kotena obi man so ekohoro abro san that is the state we live in. And I think that leadership is the only thing that can change this nonsense. That is why I made a be a can say Ghana no ubediswa we you be the team dean kasa to say Rollins but very pragmatic. Because a mine bonnet for doors woman no yamfa nyame na beche chere
sa man
omo de a chawpa ne na sa bebu abam and it is all true mo so team den but nyansa wo team. Yes, but we make sure say you are building a country not for yourself, but the generation yet to come and those that are here already. Because it should be about legacy and I will leave. That be a Kwame Nkrumah, there be a man for Kwame Nkrumah. I Bobi Oboy no did you a day a Kwame Nkrumah we no. Yes, see nipa bebre sada no. But there be a baby yes see obi kura no obi akra nkai. Yeah. A chance abrabono. Said obi see abono na be mani pa kai. Now if it's a day na Kwame Nkrumah we no kwan wu ye so no mpo de wo nwo kroma sei enti aba ne sai na obi onu koko wu ba bia kwatam ne na ba na saa da no momu wu kroma na obi akwa nkai ba bia yesi obi e bia mekai ba bia yesi obi kura ne de hwa ya kwan ya de katapura kotufunu na to agu nwuram ba bi ne ya wo funa ye hu ba de wu kroma sei no ya kwatam na de na ba aba si niam de ne dian to so a kira say legacy very, very important. You need to leave a legacy that transcends beyond generation, and that is what some of us will continue to advocate. It's not about money. Leadership position, I think life is not about money. because life has never been about money. Who I no chroma sika for the rest na akai omo who kra saa nipa na wo motwa mo se be ko japade ho japa chasa wo kra wo wira be ho fine na wo company kese o kroma wo wu a na busianfo atimi ba to asama na yeye do do say
papa ya no wo ela ye friend star book
asuma banda o yire twen na ma twen na wo fase atwen abifo no ye yare yo sa na yete obi ya greedy
company na gu
na omu nya daje so one the contribution need the answer over funny free ya na adufude na ye pe enti no mbe ye nche na obi amfa na de company ni gu amfa no but if you go abroad nipa no bewu kra no ya establish franchise no, I'm for an pretty company from somewhere, making sure that profits will continue to buy baby. Oh, then up papa be wuna no the credit.
Me Bob Brady the but there's a tissue beer. The last time I me talk as I me told the doctor and your man crofobia. Now then I realize say see you now and I say Brunina or your penino a papa company. And I say, or no more to us.
Okay.
So over Cohonum, no papa Tefana or a crowd of Tefa. And I all guided or said, yeah,
over transition will be smooth.
They say, oh, Cohonoma, the band in charge, and a papa no papa to a no hour back. And oh, friend of Crowd direct to Nebano.
Yes. So that
and is establish a big our Hannah Missy. So
person the legacy ne obetana ne sa onyeska no so da obaware bebre bebi ni nyeska jimie sa andi ne yire panyire twe na ewe so twe na omu ku omo ho na abusiafo so na menuro so yare yo na ebiru na menuro so na ye say enti adwuma no begu it's quite interesting. Enti sane ena meka se nipa onim nyansa no opa kwatam Bank of Ghana fama no begu no sane tie enti kwabra ne beba politics no be wia sika wia owu ane na chi ayira obi akora go back to 2000 there were a lot of prominent politicians in this country and sure there's nothing e kai omo
obi chebilantemo
there is nothing a kayomo.
Say Jomo.
There is nothing a kayono. Nothing.
Ampo, I said,
what does that make? No one said we are not fading from the system now. And no one said because legacy ben will live here. How many people now with me impacting here? Apart from say Nipano Mopia Wesiana, Dibimami Nibi kind of way, no? We must begin to lead legacy inspired leadership that will build people, that will project people, that will put people at a higher places, that will build corporations and companies that transcend beyond generation to build legacy and reputation. Who can do one dance manfo say abrantie we no live for. It is not about the sika we are na VAT no so we be far home. And I make say sa na ema na we da car we me nipa onim nyansa no hu sa na ema na o mo akoma be di akiro na me share na sa we the plane and from kra me fa me ho emfa me ho because I have my own priorities. What I say so you can drive plane ahead of us no pa fa from emfa me ho